Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Mary and here we talk all things houseplants with a bit more emphasis in Hoyas. Today I am prepared for something quite different. So as you can see, I'm wearing my hair in a ballerina bun because I have to do something that requires lots of elegance, which normally I don't have. Today we will try to remount, repot, I'm not sure how to call this, my Hoya imbricata. Let me show it to you first. So, there she is. This is the current situation. When I got it probably last November, so around 8 months ago. It was up to here. So it is mounted on a tree bark. I'm not sure how this is called. You can see the back as well. I have just watered the imbricata, so you know I don't have to deal with watering. So when I got it last November, it had these two leaves and it had grown up to here. So practically I got here already rooted and mounted in the first board. As it started growing, you see all from here upwards, everything is new growth. I thought that okay, maybe I will need to, you know, expand somehow the wooden board. So I found this cork board, which I guess works. I mean, it's not the best presentation, but it is what it is. So today I decided that I should make a video to talk a little bit about Hoya imbricata, or the shingling Hoya as it's called, because it's quite different. It's a lot different than any other Hoyas. Not so much in terms of needs and care, but on the way it grows. So first of all, let me explain. These are the leaves if you manage to have them shrinking. So Hoya imbricata is a myrmecophytic Hoya. Myrmecophytic, oh well, by the way, we're going to use quite a few Greek words today. Actually, they're English words, but they derive from Greek. Myrmecophytic in Greek literally means and plant. So, this Hoya imbricata, along with some other plants that belong in a similar category, they are myrmecophytic plants. They act as rooms for ant colonies. They have a symbiotic, let's say, relationship with ants, where the ants provide them nutrients or food, and the Hoya in particular provides rooms, or domatia. Domatia is actually the Greek word for rooms, for the ants to stay on the back. There are quite a few different ways to grow Hoya imbricata. The first, which is the most common one, or the one that most people would like to do, is this one, which is practically you mount it on a piece of wood, on a piece of cork, on even a wall. I have seen imbricata growing on wall, and you have the leaves attaching as they grow on the, let's say, wood, as we have in this instance. This is the ideal, because you see you get very nice big leaves that are expanded, let's say. So this, for example, this, let me just do a close-up. These are two leaves that they have attached to each other and to the wood. This is a leaf that has not attached. And let me try and show you the back a little bit. So this is how it is on the back. So if you find this on the wild, you may be able to see ants residing under the leaf. I don't have ants at home, so okay, I just have the Hoya. Let me try to remove this. So what I have done, as I started saying before, is I wanted to expand a little bit, but you see here I have more new growth, and I really do not like the ties that I have used. So I'm going to replace this and maybe try to mount a little bit better this part with sphagnum moss. So first of all, let me move you a little bit further down so you see exactly what I'm doing. Alright, so as I was saying, Hoya imbricata is a myrmecophytic plant. It is quite different on the way it grows, as you can see. This is the first way to grow it. Many people, I see that they are growing them as dumplings, and what I mean by that, if the leaves don't find somewhere to attach, they just do this shingling effect and they just become like dumplings or tacos or however you want to call them. So the leaf closes up and you have this going like that, and that way you can even trellis it. I have seen Hoya imbricata trellis like that, where it practically attaches on the trellis and becomes, you know, the trellis, the inner of the dumpling, in a sense. I cannot say I like it that much. I really like the broad leaves, the expanded leaves as these are. The problem is that I'm not really good with trellising, as I have said before, and I'm not really good with mounting either. This, the ties, oh wow, new leaf. Aha, see? I'm not sure if you can see here, it's a tiny new leaf. So, let me just, I'm trying not to destroy it, okay. Hoya imbricata doesn't have a huge root system, so even if there are a few roots here, usually the plant, then this is how it grows. It has roots growing, attaching on the wood or on the surface, let's say wood now, that you have it, and then they usually have roots on the back of the leaves as well, that they also attach. Sometimes, as in our case, you need a little bit more, you know, push or a little bit help. And because it's growing a bit wild, this is why I had these pins. The idea for these pins came from my supplier. So when I got it, she was like, oh, you know, I'm using these pins so I can, let's say, manage the way it grows and not grow really wild. And I thought it was actually a very good idea. So this is why I'm keeping it the same way. I cannot tell you much about how to root this. I don't think it is that hard to root, but there is, it's a very special Hoya because it has special needs in terms of care. So you need to keep her moist but not wet at all times. I have seen a few people who have a pot and then they have a pot here with their growing medium where the main roots are as well, and then they have a piece of wood that expands. I believe actually also Miro from Basic Plants who had it like that for a while, a couple of years back. I'm not sure how he's growing his right now, but when I first saw that video I was like, oh, you know, it's a good way to keep it if you want to have the roots somewhere dedicated so you can check them quite easily. Or you want not to use sphagnum moss as I'm doing here. So here, the moss that I had put, I had just put it because I literally glued the two pieces of wood together. Let me show you. and I did not like the looks of it, so I wanted to be a bit more natural as it is. And actually, interestingly enough, this sphagnum moss is quite stuck on the wood, so I'm not touching this. This is very good. These leaves probably will need to be tied down so they're not wobbly like this. So I do have some fishing line somewhere. Here it is. I do not have enough fishing line, so I'm not sure how this is gonna go, but here we are. So this is all the fishing line I have. I will start remounting and we will see how far we can go. So I'm probably gonna start from here like that. I don't really want to squeeze the leaf a lot, but on the other hand, if I don't do it, then there's a high chance that it will not stick on the wood. So you see that it requires some quite elegant handling, and I'm not so elegant in my handling in general. Okay, let me do the start here, and if all goes well, I'll turn it back and you can see the rest. So Hoya imbricata, as I was saying, is a quite special plant in terms of care. And this is because it does not like it wet, but you need to keep it in a very, very high humidity. That said, I keep mine in just environmental conditions, but as I have said before, and for those who visit for the first time, I live in Hong Kong. Here we have very high humidity by default. Besides that, I mist this one on a daily basis. I do not really water it because technically there is no way to water it. But I do mist on a daily basis, and I make sure that I sort of use lots of water here. When I say mist, I technically water it. I would not say it's just like that. And actually, when I was away, you can see here there is a small branch that had dried up. When I was away last time, I told the person that I had left responsible for watering my plants that, Hoya imbricata, this, okay, it's a little bit special, you need to mist it on a daily basis. I said mist and not really water, and that was an issue because when I came back, thank God it was not fully dried up, but it had a few dried branches. So this stunted the growth in a sense a little bit, but all good. I mean, now it's okay. So I'm having extra moss as well, extra sphagnum moss, because there's a high chance that I will need to put in certain parts of the plant, like here for example. I may need some more, but let's see. So here, although it doesn't have anything, I'm still using some moss, because if this grows towards that direction, there's a high chance that it will grow around here. I'm trying to keep the moss as tight as possible. Elsewhere, when I mist, it will just fall into pieces, it will just fall apart. I have some extra which I have rehydrated here, and I will try to put. I would, if you're using sphagnum moss to mount your Hoya imbricata, I would highly recommend use one moss of very good quality. Unfortunately, the one I have right now in hand is not the best, but this is what I have, this is what I'm using. Sphagnum moss has a tendency to become hydrophobic if you let it without any water or without good hydration. So if this happens, there is a high chance that, okay, it will dry up, it will not be able to absorb water, so eventually you may have issues with the plant. This is why I'm trying to just use always good quality moss. So I don't want to make it super tight because I really don't want to kill the plant, and because I have run out of fishing line, apparently this is the end, I will try to make some adjustment here. I ran out of space in my camera, I just put a new card in, so let's continue. So as you can see here, this I have already done. This, it has a tiny leaf. I want you, let me see if I can focus on the leaf here. You see? It's so tiny. So this will become like this as well. You just need to train it in a sense. So what I'm doing is I'm just pushing very gently. Like that. I'm not gonna do anything else. I'll just let it be. And then this part grows straight upwards as I want it already, so this is fine. Let me try to add a few more moss here. I'm trying to keep it as humid as possible without, you know, suffocating the roots or the plant in general. So far it's working, so you can see that this is how it's growing, and I quite like it. It's the way I want it to grow. After it goes even longer or even higher, I will try a different method. I could still expand with the bark, but I'm not sure if I want to do this. I have found online some moss poles which are quite thin and elongated, and I may try to adjust one pole here and just expand it like that. So this is the final outcome. And let me adjust you back. This is the final outcome. Again, it really depends on how you like your imbricata. There are people who like it with the taco or dumpling effect. Personally, I like this style of mounting, and since it's one of the few plants that do this, why not? If you have one, or if you are thinking to get one, I have heard from people saying that Hoya imbricata is hard. It's not hard. If you give proper moisture, proper humidity, it's quite an easy Hoya. I don't even feed this one. By the way, feeding for imbricata, if you are mounting it like that and you do not have a dedicated pot underneath, what I do is that once per week I mixed it with my orchid fertilizer. So I have some orchid fertilizer diluted in water, and I mixed all of my Hoyas one per week. This is for my other Hoyas, this is on top of their fertilizing routine. For imbricata, this is the only fertilizing that she gets. I'm not sure if she will ever flower for me. I don't know if it's easy or not. Doug Chamberlain had a video. He was struggling with his for a very long time. I think eventually he had it bloom. Nevertheless, imbricata is a Hoya that you get for this, for its foliage and for the way it grows. I don't really care about flowers. I mean, okay, it would be of course a big plus, but if she never flowers, I would still be happy. So if you have one, try to keep it moist, not suffocated, not drown it with water, but keep it with high humidity. If you live in a naturally humid environment, then it's gonna be easy peasy. You will have no problems in growing this Hoya. If you live in a drier environment, then I would say that you can try this one if you have a terrarium or if you have a grow tent. In terms of light, I have mine in natural light. When I got it from my, let me just have it like that because it's my pride and joy. So when I got it from my supplier and I asked her, she told me I missed mine daily, and she also told me I have it in direct sun because she wants direct sun, direct morning sun. I do not think this is the case. She has never seen direct sun since I got here, and she grows nicely. Even though I had the hiccup that I had several branches dried out because the person who was watering the plants had no idea what misting means. And this is something that I am discussing in one of my previous videos about self-watering pots and semi-hydro. And this is one of the reasons why I love self-watering pots. This you cannot apparently put in a self-watering pot, so this is why we had this hiccup before, hopefully not in the future. So, in any case, if you are in a humid environment, you can grow it nicely without any issues. If not, try a terrarium if you have one, or a grow tent if you have one. If you live in a drier environment and you do not have a terrarium, or you cannot increase the humidity, I would say maybe just don't spend much money on an imbricata if you find one. I mean, I personally love it, but this is the only prerequisite for this Hoya. Very easy to root, no issues with root rot, but requires high humidity. Other than that, I love it. So this is the shingling Hoya. This is the outcome. I mean, it's not very different from what it was before, but I still think looks more natural. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did like what you saw, please like and subscribe. Thank you, and I will see you all next time. Bye bye.